So guys, with the video that I released on Monday, we found out that obviously Hellion can do a whole load of damage, but also so can the Arc Soul and Ionic Sentry. So today we're here with a build which combines both of those buddies and allows you to basically have them up all of the time. We're going to be going over everything you need to know about this build, recommended armor pieces and weapons, and the whole subclass breakdowns. Let's just jump straight into it. Now, first things first, we are of course using the Getaway Artist exotic gloves. These things, for those who don't know, convert your arc grenade into an arc soul and will make you amplified, and your arc soul functions as an automated turret. This is going to be the main thing that you're using your grenade for. You're not really going to be using your grenade normally, you're mainly just going to be consuming it to get your arc buddy up. Now, another exotic armor piece you can use is Geomag Stabilizers. For those who don't know, this makes damaging targets with Chaos Reach extend its duration, and collecting an Ionic Trace grants you energy for Chaos Reach. Also, sprinting while near maximum bolt charge will grant stacks over time. This is going to be a much better option if you want to be mainly focusing on straight up boss damage, but in my opinion, just for general usage play, I much prefer having Getaway Artists than Geomag Stabilizers. Now, going over the subclass itself, of course, we're using Chaos Reach as the super because it is way better than Storm Trance, and for the abilities I have Healing Rift, but you can swap in Empowering Rift if you want that flat increase to ability energy regen, which is going to be great. Alongside that, Burst Glide, just preference. Ball Lightning, also kind of preference, but also it does have the benefit of it being a ranged melee attack, which is much better than Chain Lightning. And for our grenade, you can literally have anything equipped because we're not really using our grenade all that much. For the aspects, we of course have Ionic Sentry. This will allow you to, upon defeating targets with kinetic or arc weapons or arc abilities, charge up an arc turret that periodically chains lightning between nearby targets and granting a stack of bolt charge with each hit. Now, this does not consume your grenade, unlike the Bleak Watcher turret, so you can just keep on throwing this out and consuming your grenade to get Arc Soul as well, which is very, very nice. I kind of wish that Bleak Watcher worked this way so you could gain access to your stasis grenades as well as the turret, but hopefully that comes down the line in a future update. Now, for the second aspect, we are also still using Arc Soul. This will allow you to generate an Arc Soul when you use your class ability. Now, you can go with Electrostatic Mind if you want to be getting more benefits from Ionic Traces, but the unique thing about the Arc Soul aspect is that whenever you use your class ability, if you just stand in it, it will pause the timer of your Arc Soul. So when you use your Getaway Artist here to generate an Arc Soul, you have a flat out 20-second time limit with your Arc Soul active, but standing in your Rift with the Arc Soul aspect will just straight up pause the timer, which is very, very good. Also, using the aspect is the only way where you can share your Arc Soul with your other teammates, which is just a really good benefit now with this Arc Soul being based off of your grenade stat. Now, how I think this works is I think it's based off of each person's individual grenade stat. So if you have, say, 165 grenade, you're going to be getting plus 45% PvE damage, but let's say the Titan or Hunter that you have, given the Arc Soul 2, it will be based off of their grenade stat. Now, I have not confirmed this myself. If you know any more detail than I do, please leave a comment down below so that we can actually get this confirmed. But I believe it's based off of everyone's individual grenade stat and not just yours. But it's a great thing to have, just to be sharing this Arc Soul benefit is just really, really cool. But if you want to, you can also throw on Electrostatic Mind if you're not really bothering about sharing your Arc Soul or wanting to keep your Arc Soul up literally indefinitely. Now, for the fragments, the main one you're going to need is, of course, Spark of Shock. This will allow your grenades to jolt targets, and of course, with the most recent update, that now counts for your Arc Soul and your Ionic Sentry, which is just absolutely insane. For the next fragment, we're going Spark of Ions, where defeating a jolted target or defeating a target with bolt charge creates an Ionic Trace. We're then going with Spark of Resistance, where while surrounded by combatants, you are more resistant to incoming damage. And then finally, we're using Spark of Amplitude, where rapidly defeating targets whilst you are amplified creates an Orb of Power. This is going to pair extremely well with the amount of firepower mods that we're using on our gloves, because due to your Arc Soul and your Ionic Sentry counting as a grenade, whenever they get a final blow, they're going to count towards this firepower mod here, which states that your grenade final blows generate orbs of power. And if you have 3 of these firepower mods equipped, you're going to be generating orbs very, very consistently. On top of generating orbs whilst you're amplified, it's just going to be an orb generating machine, which then goes into your super ability, which is Chaos Reach, which means you're just going to be able to pump out a whole load of different Chaos Reaches, which is amazing. Then for the main other things that we're using, I have insulation on my boots, so that whenever I pick up an orb of power, I get more class ability energy, and then finally bomber, whenever I use my class ability, I get more grenade energy. Pretty self-explanatory stuff. For your helmet, you can use whatever siphons you are needing, and you can use whatever damage resistances you are also needing on your chest piece. Now for main stats, you're going to want your grenade to be as high as humanly possible, alongside at least getting your class to 70 stat. This is going to mean that you'll have 100% uptime on your grenade, you're going to get as much of a damage bonus from your grenade stat as possible, and your class ability will also come back at a relatively fast pace. This will then mean that you're able to constantly keep on switching out between consuming your grenade and using your class ability to constantly have your Arc Soul active, and then you can throw out your Ionic Sentry whenever you have it, which should be very, very often. Now, in terms of the artifact here, while there are some things that are going to be drastically improving this build, the build itself can be used even without these certain artifact perks, so do not worry if you're watching this video in a future season and this artifact isn't currently available. But for the current artifact, the main things you're going to want, obviously Elemental Overdrive, picking up an elemental pickup, or a Tangle grants increased weapon damage for the same element. So if you're using arc weapons, free damage boost, which is also very nice. Then you have Elemental Coalescence. Defeating targets has a chance to create an elemental pickup, matching your equipped super. This is going to be generating you more Ionic Traces, which is just very, very helpful. Then also Refreshing Threads, picking up an elemental pickup, matching your subclass element, or picking up a Tangle while you have a Strand super equipped, grants energy to your least charged abilities. Once again, just more energy regen, which is going to be very, very useful. And I believe that's pretty much it. You can obviously use whatever else you would really like, but those are the main 3 perks that I myself am taking advantage of. Now, in terms of weapons, obviously Delicate Tomb is going to be a very good weapon here, but in the gameplay, you don't see me using it just to prove that you don't need Delicate Tomb for this build to actually work. Delicate Tomb is just going to be drastically increasing how strong and potent this build is. For those who don't know, Delicate Tomb comes with Traitor's Vessel, where it fires a wide horizontal spread when shot from the hip, and final blows with the weapon have a chance to generate Ionic Traces. Powerful foes and opposing guardians always generate Ionic Traces. And then finally, Tempest Cascade. Collecting an Ionic Trace overcharges this weapon's next shot, jolting targets on hit. And the Catalyst will make it so that when you collect an Ionic Trace, you partially reload the magazine from reserves. So it's an overall really good arc weapon to pair with basically any Arc Warlock build, this one included, and if you have it, it's definitely worth using. But if you don't want to use Delicate Tomb, you can literally use whatever weapons you would like. As you can see from the gameplay here, I believe I have on equipped Finality's Auger for some reason, because I just had it on me whilst I was recording gameplay, and the build still works out perfectly fine. With that said, that is everything for today's build video. I'll obviously have a dim link in the description if you want to take it for a spin yourself, but that is everything that I have for you guys today. So hopefully you have enjoyed. If you did, if you could leave a like and subscribe to the channel, I would very much appreciate it. And with that all said, I'll see you all in the next one.